This is a how to play for my social game, Blockbusters Remixed. The object of this game is for players to work together to create an entertaining script or dialogue by remixing famous movie quotes together into a funny, fitting, or ironic new scene. Players begin by each presenting a famous movie quote to the group. If preferred, this can be expanded to include quotes from historical figures, song lyrics, and so on. Players will decide amongst themselves which quote to start the game off with. There are no winners or losers here yet. This first quote will form the start of a back-and-forth dialogue, or scene, between two characters that will be built upon by subsequent quotes suggested by the players. The object here is to creatively remix the dialogue, so players can't simply use the actual next line originally used in the scene being quoted. Once a starting quote has been decided upon, the player who thought up the quote will write it down on a piece of paper for everyone to see, and will now become the judge for the next quote to be included in the scene. The rest of the players will be responsible for coming up with the next line, but this time instead of discussing the possibilities openly as a group, each player will secretly write their suggestion on a small piece of paper and add it to the common pile to be shuffled and presented to the judge. The judge will now reread their original quote out loud, followed by a reading of each suggested new quote received from the other players. The judge will decide which quote they think most deserves to be added to the new remixed script. Then this quote will be put on display next to the original, forming one fluid sequence. The player who wrote the winning suggestion will reveal themselves and become the judge for the next set of quotes. The next quote should function as a response to the previous one, continuing to build the script. This can go on for as many rounds as desired until a judge decides to declare the script complete, at which point the group will vote yay or nay on whether to end the scene. Once ended, the player who had the most quotes featured in the final script will win and gets to choose the starting quote for a new scene. Meanwhile, the two players with the fewest and second fewest featured quotes will now have to act out the scene that has been created to the best of their ability.